I dare you. I dare you to be better than who you are today. I dare you to be better than who you are a year from now. I dare you to be the best person you can be. I dare you to make an impact on the people around you, so when your time comes, they'll remember what a difference you made in their lives. I won the I Dare You Award through 4-H, and along with that certificate came a book. The book I Dare You by William H. Danforth. And the moment I stepped off that stage, I told myself, I'm not going to read this book. I sat down across from my friend and I told her I'm not reading that book. But a few weeks later, I walked into my bedroom and I saw it sitting next to my bed, and I thought, well, I won it through 4-H, and 4-H is a big part of my life, so maybe I should read it. So I grabbed it and I shoved it in my backpack and I went to school and I read it. In the beginning, the author William Danforth talks about his toughest dare. He was lined up with the rest of his classmates and his teacher came up to him and said, I dare you to be the healthiest boy in class. And the author, being who he was, he wanted to complete his dare. And at the time, he was scrawny and basically skin and bone. But with a lot of hard work and eating right, he was able to become the healthiest boy in class, and he completed his dare. Now, I've never had a book change my point of view before, but this one definitely did. And it's not the change where, oh, I went back to college and I studied what I wanted to study, and I got married and I had kids, and I'm only 14. I haven't even gone through my first year of high school. But it made me think, how can I dare myself to reach more people? How can I dare myself to be better? Every year, the 4-H Honor Club visits the Baptist Children's Home, and last year was no different. Last year, I dared myself to talk to as many kids as possible. And I met one girl, and I'll call her Grace. Grace is one of the sweetest people I've ever met. We had a lot in common. She opened up to me about her life and her experience. Now, hearing about her and her experience made me think, there are so many more kids going through what she's going through, and I want to help them. So at that point, I dared myself to help as many kids that are going through something she's going through, and let them know that they can make it through the rough area they're in. Now, on that same night, Mr. Doug Burney, the 4-H Livestock Project leader, came up to me and told me how much of an inspiration I am and how amazing it is that I'm able to bring joy to those kids. Now, I thought I didn't reach the kids like I wanted to. I thought I wasn't able to talk to all of them, I wasn't able to meet all of them, and I didn't complete what I dared myself to do. But what he said made me stop that thought. I did enough. I was able to bring joy to those kids, and I was able to give them a night where they could stop worrying about everything and just have fun and make new friends. Last year was a hard year for me. I dealt with a lot of mental health and along with death. A few days before my birthday, my grandma passed away, and I remember sitting in my Nana's guest room a week before writing a letter to her, promising everything and telling her everything I wanted to tell her. In that letter, I promised her that I would never allow myself to go back to that dark place I was in, no matter how much life dragged me down. So at that point, I dared myself to reach a good place mentally and to be able to help others. 8 years ago, I moved here, and never in a million years would I think I'd be doing what I'm doing now. My whole life is surrounded by 4-H, and I'm there once a month for horse project meetings, every 2 months for honor club, every Monday for hippology and horse judging, every so often for livestock judging and culinary club on Thursdays. And even though it can cause extra stress with other things I do, I wouldn't trade it for the world. The people I've met through it and the opportunities I've gotten are amazing. And the project leaders are the best people you could probably ever meet. They guide us through things we need help. They're people that we can go to when we need help, but they let us step back and let us learn. They teach us valuable life skills like leadership, citizenship, and how to shake someone's hand properly. And just like 4-H and William Danforth had dared me, I dare you. I dare you to be better than who you are today. I dare you to be better than who you are a year from now. I dare you to be the best person you can be. I dare you to make an impact on the people around you, so when your time comes, they'll be able to remember what a difference you made in their lives. I dare you to live up to your name. I dare you to set a bar so people like you can go above that bar. You don't have to be famous for people to remember your name. You just have to be the best you can be. Thank you.
Did you know that 85% of Americans consider themselves patriotic? 63.9% of Americans own an American flag, and 47% of Americans are just proud to live in our country. But what is patriotism anyway? Patriotism is the love of one's country. This love can be shown in many ways, such as supporting a veteran, volunteering, and looking back into history. Veterans are significantly undervalued. They put a lot on the line for our safety and our freedom, and for that, we should help and support them. Volunteering calls us to show love to the people of our nation, and by doing so, we directly benefit the country. Finally, looking back into the past is one of the best ways to find examples of patriotism that was shown by others. By doing these three things, you are already showing patriotism to your country. The first way you can show patriotism is by supporting a veteran. Veterans are significantly undervalued. They put a lot on the line for our safety and our freedom, and for that, we should help and support them. So, if being patriotic means showing love to your country, we should support the people who protect the things we love about our country. It is very easy to support a veteran. Something as small as taking time to say thank you or showing gratitude through small acts can leave a veteran feeling supported and appreciated. I got the chance to do just that in a project called Homes for Our Troops. In this project, I worked together with a group of people to landscape a retired veteran's home. This veteran was a double amputee who couldn't afford a home to fit his family's needs. Because of Homes for Our Troops, he was able to provide for his family in an affordable way. Not only were my eyes open to patriotism, but I was able to understand our country's veterans and their needs. Another way you can show patriotism is by volunteering, because when we volunteer, we show love to the people of our country, and by doing so, we directly benefit the nation. 4-H gives you every opportunity to volunteer. In fact, it's even in the 4-H pledge. We pledge our head, our hands, our heart, and our health to serve our club, community, country, and world. This pledge calls us to volunteer and allows us to do it with the people we love. 2 years ago, I joined the 4-H Livestock Beef Project. When Expo rolled around, my steer was purchased by Cigna Healthcare, who donated the beef to Room in the Inn. When Room in the Inn got the meat, I volunteered to serve it to their residents. Their faces lit up when they got the chance to eat steak for the first time in a long time. This opportunity opened my eyes to the beauty of giving, and that in our country, we value the gift of serving others. Finally, you can show patriotism by looking back to reflect on the encouraging actions and words of our country's strongest patriots. For example, Nathan Hale was a spy for the Continental Army in the American Revolution. When he was on a mission in New York, he was captured and executed by the British. His final words were, "I only regret that I have but one life to give for my country." Because of Nathan Hale, we have a true representation of the spirit of patriotism. Another great example of patriotism in our country is Deborah Sampson. She was one of the few women who disguised herself as a man so that she could fight in the Continental Army. Deborah's love for her country was so deep that she was willing to give it all up for her country. Because of Deborah Sampson and Nathan Hale, we have two pictures of the spirit of patriotism. You can show love to your country by supporting a veteran, volunteering, and looking back into history. Veterans are significantly undervalued. They put a lot on the line for our safety and our freedom, and for that, we should help and support them. Volunteering calls us to show love to the people of our nation, and by doing so, we directly benefit the country. Looking back into the past is one of the best ways to find examples of patriotism that was shown by others. Patriotism is the love of one's country. I invite you to share the love with me.
Never Give Up by Junaid Jamal. Hello, Have you ever had that feeling when you have a lot of trouble relating to something? In my case, it was that I couldn't relate to my own name. Junaid. What a simple, nice Indian name that goes perfectly well with my last name and was yet so vague and abstruse to me. When I was in kindergarten, I asked my mom, "Mommy, what's the meaning of my name?" My mom said, "It means when you don't give up." I was impressed. Then, in second grade, my ELA teacher, Mrs. Francis, while reading a book of virtues in class, taught us a big word, perseverance. "It means when you don't give up," she said to the class. I jumped out of my seat with excitement. "Wait," I said to her, "that's my name. I am Perseverance." The whole class laughed, but I felt pretty cool about myself. It wasn't until much later when I actually met someone from 4-H who made me realize the true meaning of perseverance. I remember last year there was a very shy and quiet boy who had recently moved to Tennessee from Connecticut, leaving his entire life behind. Imagine a boy so timid that if you say hello to him, he would just look at you. No, not even look at you. He would just slightly raise his hand in an attempt to wave a very sorry hi. So when he first met Miss Stockdale, a phenomenal youth educator and mentor at 4-H, I think he kind of frightened her. That boy was so meek that she actually had to email his mom to figure out what was really wrong with him. But once she understood that he was just a very inherently shy boy, she just never gave up on him. Miss Stockdale started instilling in him the core values of 4-H and slowly but surely made him believe that he was not an average person because he was working hard to learn crucial life skills and prepare for his bright future. She told him one thing that he would never forget. She said, "It's okay to be nervous because that just means you care about what you're doing. Use that energy to propel you forward, not hold you back." She worked hard on that boy and made him work hard on his dream of going up on stage and speaking out loud to the world of things he was passionate about. As he slowly started getting more and more involved with 4-H, his mentor's steady persistence made him realize that he couldn't keep on avoiding things just because they were tough. He would have to continue giving his best, despite difficulties, discouragements, disappointments, and even delays in achieving success. Today, right now, that boy is speaking in front of all of you because that shy, quiet boy was me. Today, I feel grateful to be a part of 4-H, of this esteemed youth organization that has never given up on changing lives of kids like me and helping them reach their fullest potential, not only in the United States, but in over 50 countries around the world. 4-H has persevered in teaching millions and millions of youth the core values of citizenship, leadership, responsibility, and courage. In the past year, my life has been turned around. That frightened little boy is now in front of you, full of determination and dreams, daring to fight life's biggest obstacles and challenges through the lessons of persistence and perseverance that he learned from the people at 4-H, who taught him the tenacity and grit to never give up. Thank you.
Our world is filled with problems. Problems like hate, poverty, suicide, war, discrimination, and so much more. But almost all of the problems in our world can be solved with one thing, and that is friendship. Look around you. There are currently 40 active wars going on in our world today. Over 795 million people don't have enough food to lead a healthy life. Suicide rates are up a staggering 24% in only the last 15 years. That's 13 suicides per 100,000 people. 1 in 3 kids have been bullied, and 1 in 6 kids were cyberbullied just in 2019. Believe it or not, but the Department of Justice estimates that over 160,000 kids daily skip school out of fear of being bullied. There's always someone around you who's being bullied, and it might be because they're not the most popular, physically attractive, or just no one wants to be their friend. They might never see the good in the world because no one will ever see the good in them. As a result, they might do something that not only hurts themselves, but those around them too. Something they wouldn't have done if they had a friend. And though you might not be the reason for it, there's a lot you can do to help. For more than 100 years, 4-H has welcomed people of all beliefs and backgrounds and given them an opportunity to express their voices and make their communities and lives better. Now ask yourself, am I doing everything I can to be a friend to all around me in my everyday life? Friendship has helped so many people through tough times. On an average, 7% of all high schoolers attempt to commit suicide. Out of that, a large majority of them do so out of being bullied or cyberbullied. Just talking to them could save their lives. In fact, evidence suggests that helplines can help the short-term mental health of callers, which includes a reduction in suicidal ideation and intent. What this means is everyone needs a network of support that can make the difference between life and death. Maybe then they'll see that their life is worth fighting for. Here's a real story. James Wilmer, currently in 5th grade, has a learning disability, was adopted, and lost his second father to a tragic accident. One day, James was being bullied at the school playground, and a group of boys came and stood up for him and gave him the one thing that was desperately missing in his life, the gift of friendship. Soon, James became a regular part of their fun get-together sessions, and they soon learned James too shared their common love for sports. They even chipped in to buy him a PlayStation. Now, you're all faced with one question. What can I do to be a friend to all around me in my everyday life? It's really simple. Forget about physical description. Forget about height, weight, and color of skin. Forget about how popular they are and move out of your comfort zone when trying to make friends. Try and be friends with someone without any, because who knows, you might not only save a life, but you might also find a true friend. In conclusion, here's a poem that I wrote. A boy was born to a very poor family. The town he lived in was as dangerous as can be. His mother left him when he was only 3, and at school he was very harshly bullied. He grew up with the raging hate in his heart. He threw away his life even though he was smart. To all who hurt him, he wanted to end. Till someone offered to be his friend. They told him that it wasn't too late. This didn't have to be his fate. So he changed the way that he thought, and he gave his life another shot. He spent the rest of his life helping those just like him, and so many more lives were saved with just a little bit of kindness. Friendship, what our world needs the most today.